going to talk a little bit about the compact countertop oven. And you might be saying, isn't that just like a big toaster oven? Actually, no. This is not your grandmother or your mother's old toaster oven. So this particular one is made by Breville. A lot of different companies now are making the compact countertop oven. I've had this one for years. I think it was pretty much the first of its real kind. But a lot of the features I'm going to be talking about, you can find nowadays in some of your favorite brands. Excuse me. Beg your pardon. So this does have a drop down door, which makes it really easy to be able to get into and be able to pull your things out. I like that the handle actually sits on the counter here, so that if you actually have to put something heavy out, you have a little bit of base here rather than the hinges. Actually, there's only a hinge over here, but the hinges being under stress if you have to actually lean something on there. So I do like that. This does have 3 different positions for the rack. So you have an upper position, which is way up here. You have a middle position here, and then you have a bottom position. Now in this middle position, it does have a little magnet right here, so that if you close it and you open it up again, it'll pull the rack out so that you can easily grab whatever you've put in. Makes it kind of convenient. That actually only works here on the middle rack though. If you're using the lower rack, such as I'm going to be doing for baking later today, kind of doesn't work that well. Close it, open it, and you kind of have to just reach in. The inside of a compact oven is really large. These are actually made to do everything your full-size oven will do, and in my case, this will do even more than my full-size oven will do. And it's made to do it in a smaller footprint, which saves energy. Now you might be thinking, well, then I can't get everything I need to do in there. That's actually not true. So I'm going to show you some of the things I use in my compact oven. This is a 13-inch pizza stone. And granted, I want to do my pizza on a middle rack. You can clearly see 13-inch pizza stone fits great in there. No problems whatsoever. I like to do sometimes baking with a sheet pan. So here's a 1/4 size sheet pan. No issues, goes right in. You can do 2 loaf pans, either vertically or horizontally. That makes no difference. That fits in there. And I don't actually have it with me at the moment because it was used for a potluck and it's still at work. But I do actually have a 9 by 13-inch pan I found. I think it was by Corel. It has no handles. Because it has no handles, that 13 by 9 will fit in here as well. If you have one with handles, they're going to catch on the edges here and they're not going to clear it. You can, however, use an 11 by 7 with handles. Fits in here, no problem. So the other day I actually made a pizza, and I can actually use my griddle. That's a pretty good size griddle. Full pan griddle size griddle fits right in there, no issues. I also use my cast iron obviously in here quite a bit. I'm going to be using this one to make probably some bread later, and this is a number 6 Griswold, so I believe that's like a 9.5 inch. And the interesting thing about these on this particular version, which is the Breville, is if I angle this handle just right when I put it in there and close it, what will happen is when I want to get it out again, that magnetic catch here pulls the handle out for me. I can put my hot mitt on and just grab it right out, and I don't have to worry about reaching in. I believe a KitchenAid has that too. This here is a large skillet. It's a 10.5. It's a number 8 Griswold. Again, fits in there, no problems. When I want to pull it out, the handle comes right out because of that magnetic catch. I can grab it and go ahead and do whatever I need to do. So that's pretty convenient on there. So obviously the size in here is really good. I can also fit larger items such as this 2-quart Dutch oven. It won't fit on there with the lid because it doesn't clear it, but if I wanted to put a lid on or cover it, I can actually just put a piece of foil on there, and that works just great. So big casseroles like that fit in there, so you can start something in the stove and then put it in the oven when you're done if you need to. So works out pretty well. It does have a nice display screen. It's currently the in its kind of saver mode, but if I press the start, you can see it's nice and bright. Many of them now have these digital. Some of them still have just the old dial knobs, and there's no problem with it. It's whatever works for you. I can change the function, I can change the time, the temperature. This one also has a convection oven feature on or off, and I can also use it for frozen foods just by simply telling the oven that there's a frozen item in there. And that only works on some of the features, like the pizza or something like that. Now the Breville does come with an option accessory that you can get added onto, which is this nice cutting board. It has silicone feet and it's designed to sit right up on top. And what this does is it allows you to not lose the footprint of the counter underneath. So you have counter space on top. If you're using the broil feature, this is going to get a little warm, but I haven't really had any problems with it when I used to keep this on my counter all the time. I used to put a loaf of bread up here and then a bowl up here with my onions and garlic bulbs and things like that, and it was all just fine. Now the size on this particular one is about 18 inches across by 12.5 inches deep. When I had a full-size kitchen, I left it on the counter all the time. I really have a tiny kitchen right now, so I try not to leave it out as much. It fits right on the bottom shelf of my pantry, and it's really easy to get into the pantry and get it out. It's not very heavy. And so if I'm doing baking or something, I will pull this out. So that's pretty much what a compact oven is. As you can see, a lot more features than the old style toaster ovens. Really fully functional oven, and it's got a really large size in there. So if you're considering something like that, if you have an older oven like I do that doesn't work so well, and something like this is what you're looking for, hopefully I've given you some feature options to look for out there, and go look for your favorite model, and there you go. That is what a compact oven is.